All right, hey everybody. Wanted to do a quick walk around of my 2007 Toyota Tundra. I kind of want to just document all the modifications I've made to this thing, and it's been a long time coming. I bought this truck brand new in 2007, and it looks relatively stock, but it's undergone some pretty major transformations, and I generally just do a bad job of kind of collecting all the information as I go, so I'm gonna try to capture it all in this video, just for me to relearn a few things and just to kind of talk about what I've done in the last 10 years of owning this truck. And I guess starting the back, generally pretty stock. I mean, it's got the tonneau cover from Undercover. This is actually the prototype. I bugged the guy at Undercover long enough when they first designed this SE. I knew they were coming out with it. I kept bugging him. He said, finally, I'll just give you the one off our test truck and you'll have the first one. So that's the very first Undercover SE for the Tundra ever. It's serial number 1, I guess, but I don't know. It's been great. I've had that since it first came out, obviously, and I love it. It still looks as good as new. Let's see. Oh, there's the backup camera. You know, the single cab didn't have that option, so there it is. This is the sport package, so these are the factory bumpers. With the TRD dual exhaust. Never mind the paint on there. Got the TRD rear sway bar. One thing that's not on here right now, I kind of have them pinned up right now. As you can see, I have my own little home brand of traction bars, a knockoff of the Caltex. I didn't really feel like spending $500. They're currently off. I had a buddy of mine powder coat them for me, and I don't know if you can pick that up. It's like a nice metallic gunmetal gray. So I had him powder coat them for me, and I got some Econel 625 tubing here. I'm gonna make some new spacers for it. It's a little extra beefy. So yeah, it's a real Econel. It's a pretty expensive piece of tubing. Saved it from the dumpster though. But yeah, let's I guess one thing that's most notable that y'all might have seen if you're on Tundra Talk is this is the only single cab that has a roll down rear window, and I was probably the only person stupid enough to attempt such a feat. But you know, this started in 2013, and I finished that along with a complete repaint of the truck in 2014. You can see it's still, I mean, the body work has held up great. It's a welded seam all the way up and around. Actually, I had to do some pretty extensive cutting on this cab, and I'll show some pictures of that in the video later of how this thing came to be. But it's like a seemingly small modification, but man, it's about the coolest thing about this truck. Lots of cool things. These are the step rails that I bent. It's all 1/8 inch Dom tubing, 1 3/4 diameter. These are also powder coated by a buddy of mine. When I was getting the truck painted, I pulled them off. It's a bolt-on design. It's all gusseted, completely bolt-on and removable. Wheels, stock 18s. I did have a tire shop down the road. He took them off and painted them for me. It's a Nissan gunmetal gray. I've had them painted 3 years ago, and they still look great. And also, this is a daily driver. It's held up pretty great. I mean, it's not perfect paint, but it still looks pretty dang good, I think, for as much as I drive this thing in Houston. It's pretty awful. Up front, you gotta have the power adder. It's got the TRD supercharger. Had that thing on for quite a while. It's pretty dirty, but whatever. It's a daily driver. And I did have it dynoed whenever I had the truck apart. It's putting down, I want to say, about 450 to the wheels, so pretty respectable power. The front has some updates. I got the 2010 and up grill. Also, when I did the repaint, I went ahead and put the 2010 valance on there too, just to give it an updated look. I thought the 07 grill looked kind of cartoonish. It's a little fat. What else do we have? Oh yeah, power fold mirrors. Got these off a guy on Craigslist. Very cool feature to have. I will say that got a little more than I bargained for when I put those on. There was a lot of wiring. It was a little more work than I anticipated, but in the end result was worth it. That coupled with the who cares? It's a HomeLink mirror. It's got full dimming. Everything's wired to work with the dimming. Works great. Got my gauges mounted here. I got the boost. I also went ahead and did a trans temp gauge in there, mainly because I did a valve body upgrade on this thing and I wanted to be able to monitor the temps of the transmission. The valve body upgrades are pretty awesome for for that supercharged power, being able to put it to the ground. Check out the cat skins. It's a dual tone cat skins kit with the contrast stitching. And again, this is 10 years old. They've held up really well though. Not too many signs of wear, just the typical you'd expect with leather, but I'd definitely say it's an upgrade over the stock leather, which this did not have. It had cloth seats. So there's the switch I added for the mirror, and also here's the switch I added for the roll down rear window. I guess I hot tapped off of the cigarette lighter, so it actually still works when the truck's off, but it's absolutely seamless and reasonably flawless, up and down just like it should. Pretty dang cool. Yeah, and so get a good look at the stereo system too. So this whole back panel is custom, and it had to be because, well, obviously they didn't design a back panel for a single cab with this feature. So it's all, reasonably, I did this all myself too. Not an interior guy, but I think it's cool. Got the JL 6x9s. It's got a 10-inch shallow mount sub underneath it. It fits pretty tightly in there, which is pretty cool. Sounds great. It's not going to win any contests, but I think it sounds pretty decent. And I got the Focal, I don't even know what series it is, and I got my amps and the crossovers mounted underneath the seat. That PDX amp is awesome for a single amp thing. But yeah, one thing, I wanted to make it look as factory as reasonably possible, because I kind of like that. But did a good job to make sure that when the window's down, it looked reasonable. I'm not a professional at this, but I did have to do a lot of trimming and cutting to make all this stuff work. And I wanted to make sure when the window was down that you didn't see any exposed materials. I wanted a nice seamless look, so the vinyl is finished all the way through the back. Oh yeah, I don't want to forget the headliner. That was also a fun project. I got probably doesn't look like much, but it's that nice suede headliner in here. And I painted everything black to match, and even did the visors. And man, the visors were the biggest challenge of the whole thing, because they are not really meant to be taken apart from the factory, but just like anything else, anything's possible. So, man, that's about it. Like I said, the paint job is still holding up good after several years of being a daily driver. Everything was hand blocked and sanded. It was painted in a garage, so there's good reflectivity, and that's the reflection in the paint. Still looks pretty dang good. It's dirty as hell, but I guess like I said, it's a daily driver. I don't care that much as long as it stays reasonably clean. That's it, man. That's my truck. I'm sure there's probably something I'm forgetting, but There it is. There's the walk around.